Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today's the 29th of July 2024. Now the prices of Bitcoin on the global cryptocurrency market, guys, has definitely pumped up since the last 72 hours. And the answer to that is pretty simple, guys. Between the 25th of July and 27th of July, there was Bitcoin Nashville 2024 conference and there were quite a lot of speakers, and President Donald Trump looks like he wants to go ahead and make Bitcoin great again. Now in today's episode, guys, I'll go ahead and give out a brief information as to what is it that the speaker spoke at that session. But what I'd really recommend you to do is go to Bitcoin Magazine's YouTube channel and spend at least a couple of hours and try to listen to what everyone has to say. Now look, guys, I definitely do not agree to a lot of speakers, but it is really important that you go and listen to what they have to say and then make up your own mind. There is a very high possibility you can disagree to some speakers as well, and you definitely have every right to do that. But what I'd really recommend you to do is go and listen to what they have to say, rather than, let's say, looking at LinkedIn posts, because a lot of incorrect and misleading information is provided via LinkedIn post. But in today's episode, guys, I'll very briefly touch base on what some of the speakers actually said. Now, the key highlight, guys, was definitely President Donald Trump, and I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on it. Now, in the world of Bitcoin, guys, there is another massive update, and that is to do with Cantor. Now, look, guys, they are an American financial firm services that has been in existence since 1945, and looks like they're focusing on business leaders, and they're doing that by Bitcoin financing. So I'll definitely go and touch base on this, because they have set aside $2 billion. So definitely positive news for Bitcoin, I guess. Now in the world of security and hacks, guys, it is really important that we have the best wallet, isn't it? And Ledger, guys, they are one of the leading providers of hardware wallet, and they have an update, and they have gone ahead and launched a touchscreen crypto wallet. So I'll definitely go ahead and give out more information regarding this. Now look, guys, this innovation might sound great, but this should have happened at least a decade ago, isn't it? But nonetheless, guys, I'll go ahead and give out more information regarding this. Now, unfortunately, guys, in the world of cryptocurrency, hacks and attacks definitely not great, isn't it? Now, there is an unfortunate breach, guys, and that is to do with Casper Network. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. Now, look, guys, breaches, hacks, and exploits are definitely not great in the cryptocurrency world, isn't it? So I'll go ahead and share my thoughts and opinion on it. So these are some macro level news, guys, I'll cover in my Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast. And like we do in every Crypto and Coffee at 8 series, I'll be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. Now both the news, guys, has to do with artificial intelligence. Now the first news, guys, is an AI campus that is scheduled to take place today, that is 29th of July. And it is called as UAE AI Campus, and this is the 6th edition. Now if you're someone in Dubai, guys, I'll definitely urge you guys to go ahead and check it out, because it covers quite a lot of areas, and I'll go ahead and touch base on the different areas this camp focuses on. Now the second news, guys, has to do with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and this is to do with artificial intelligence, and the SDAIA, that is Saudi Data for Artificial Intelligence Authority, and KUST, that is King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. They have gone ahead and launched a mini ChatGPT app. They are launching a mini GPT-Med model, and they want to help doctors diagnose medical radiology via artificial intelligence. So definitely a brilliant use case, isn't it? So in today's episode, I'll go ahead and give out more information regarding this. So quite a lot to cover, guys, in today's episode. Let's kickstart with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for the Race Pace Podcast. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now look guys, the global cryptocurrency market since the last 72 hours has definitely pumped up, and right now it is at $2.42 trillion. And the answer to that is pretty simple guys. That is because of a massive event that did actually take place between the 25th and the 27th of July, and mainstream media are also covering it over the weekend. Now as of now guys, it is at $2.42 trillion, and since the last 24 hours it is up by 0.08%. But unfortunately guys, if you look at the prices of Ethereum, that has actually gone down, which is a bit bizarre guys, because on the 23rd of July is when Ethereum spot trading did actually kick off, isn't it? So in an idealistic world guys, the prices of Ethereum should have pumped up. That is not the case, and the answer to that is pretty simple guys. The spot Ethereum ETF does not have staking as a service, isn't it? So these are things you need to be aware about when you talk about spot Ethereum trading or any other upcoming spot ETF approvals. Now so far as the total cryptocurrency market volume is concerned guys, it is at $66.46 billion. Now you need to remember guys, I'm recording this episode in the early hours of Dubai, and it is still technically Sunday in most of the Western countries. Now the total cryptocurrency market volume guys is up by 6.89% since the last 24 hours. Now the volume on DeFi guys is absolutely ridiculous. It is at only $3.22 billion, and DeFi as of today guys is only accounting for 5.24% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now if you look at the total value locked guys, it is only at $98.73 billion. And look guys, based on my experience in the cryptocurrency world, I wouldn't be surprised if the total value locked is on a downtrend. That is because investors will be more keen, or rather should be more keen on buying the actual Ethereum as opposed to the spot Ethereum trading in my opinion. But let's see if the narrative turns out to be true. Now so far as the dominance of total value locked is concerned, Lido is still dominating with $32.20 billion. Now, decentralized exchange dominance, guys, is a great matrix to understand if people are actually using decentralized exchanges or decentralized protocols in general. And one trend which I've been observing at least for the past 3 weeks, decentralized exchange dominance is about the 20% mark, and it's great to see that it is consistent all throughout the 7 days. Today, guys, it is at 23.24%. Now, look, guys, in an idealistic world, decentralized exchange dominance should be about the 40% mark, isn't it? Hopefully, in the next coming years and next coming decades, decentralized exchange dominance is relatively consistent, and it is well over the 60% mark as well. When will that thing happen, or really, I'm not sure. Now, let me quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges, guys, because Uniswap is leading the pack, and its volume is $1.61 billion, followed by Radium, and its volume is $1.13 billion. Orca, guys, is at number 3rd. Its volume is well over the $500 million mark at $508.85 million. Now, PancakeSwap, guys, is at number 4th. Its volume is $499.35 million. And finally, at number 5th is Aerodrome, and its volume is $253.89 million. Now, let me quickly run through the volume of stablecoins, guys, because it is only at $55.18 billion. And stablecoins as of today is accounting for 8.79% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume, with Tether USDT leading the pack at $45.83 billion, followed by Circle USDC, guys. Its volume is $4.62 billion, and FTUSD is at number 3rd. Its volume is almost half of that of Circle USDC at $2.98 billion. Now, if you look at the market cap, guys, Bitcoin's market cap has actually pumped up since the last 72 hours. It is at $1.34 trillion, but Ethereum's market cap has actually gone down. As a matter of fact, guys, it has gone well below the $400 billion mark. It is only at $393 billion, whereas Bitcoin's market cap is at $1.34 trillion. Now, if you look at the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin, guys, it is significantly higher than that of Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume. It is at $28.21 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume, guys, is almost 1/3 of that of Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume. It is only at $11.81 billion. This is a bit bizarre, guys, because on the 23rd of July, spot Ethereum trading went live, isn't it? Now, in an idealistic world, the number should have been reversed, and the volume of Ethereum should have been 3 times of the 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin. But the cryptocurrency world is absolutely wild and unpredictable, isn't it? Now, if you look at the dominance, guys, thanks to the Bitcoin Nashville conference, Bitcoin's dominance is at 54.53%, whereas Ethereum's dominance has actually gone down, and it is at 16.20%. Now, in today's episode, guys, let me do one thing. Let me quickly run through the top 5 NFT marketplaces. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go to defilama.com, and there are loads of information that you can look at, and you can also sort the matrix based on your preference. Now, what I want to do is, I want to run through the top 5 NFT marketplaces, and the key metric I'm looking at is the market share, because that would give us an idea as to which marketplace is dominating, isn't it? Now, the number 1, guys, is Blur, and it is accounting for 47.47% of NFT marketplaces. The second one, guys, is OpenSea, and its market share is 19.33%. The third one, guys, is Blur Aggregator. It is accounting for 14.26%. The third one is CryptoPunks, and it is accounting for 7.29%. And finally, guys, at number 5th is Gem. It is accounting for only 5.21%. Now, in the episode that I'm going to be releasing tomorrow, guys, I'll try to look at a different matrix. If you do have any specific matrix you want me to look at, mention them in the comments below, or send me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Now, guys, let's talk about the Bitcoin Nashville 2024 conference. Now, there were some really iconic speakers. Now, these speakers, guys, were not necessarily great for the Bitcoin community, but there were quite a lot of celebrities and politicians. Now, I like the idea of getting them involved, because that gets a lot of mainstream adoption, isn't it? And looks like President Donald Trump definitely wants to go ahead and make Bitcoin great again. But listen, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is, rather than listening to me, or even listening to other podcasters, or listening to any YouTube channel, I would really urge you guys to go ahead and check out the Bitcoin Magazine's YouTube channel. Listen to the entire speech, because the event, guys, that they conducted, and whatever the speakers talked about, will definitely have a lot of consequences so far as Bitcoin's adoption is concerned. Now, look, so far as President Donald Trump is concerned, he was the headlining speaker, and what he actually said is that Bitcoin stands for freedom, sovereignty, and independence from governance, coercion, and control. Definitely beautiful stuff. Now, let me do one thing, guys. Let me quickly give you a brief of what I thought President Donald Trump actually said at that session. Now, he did receive the loudest round of applause when he said that he would fire Chair Gary Gensler, and the crowd got absolutely wild when he actually said that. And he also said that as a president, he would also shut down Operation Choke Point 2.0, which is a war on cryptocurrency, isn't it? And he also said that he'll be appointing a new role that would be a Bitcoin and crypto presidential advisory role. Now, what I really like, guys, he said when it comes to regulations, rather than having politicians, it would be great if regulations have rules by people who are actually from the industry, and I really am hoping that thing gets implemented. Now, according to me, guys, one of the things which I agreed what President Donald Trump said is that Bitcoiners understood inflation better than most politicians, 100% right. And he also said that as a president, he will definitely go ahead and ban central bank digital currency. Now look, guys, so far as Republicans are concerned, they definitely want to go ahead and ban central bank digital currency. Even Robert Kennedy Jr. echoed the same theme, but left-leaning administrations, guys, they definitely want to go ahead and push for central bank digital currency. Now, President Donald Trump, he also said that as a president, he will give people the right to self-custody Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency. He also stressed on the dominance of stable coins, and looks like he wants the United States of America to be the dominant player in stable coins. Now, another crucial thing what he actually said is that Bitcoin is not a threat to US dollar. This is absolutely brilliant stuff. Now look, when the President of United States of America says that, guys, there are massive consequences. Presidents from other countries, they would follow a similar approach as well. Now, regarding mining, he actually said that he intends United States of America to be the mining powerhouse of the world. Now, regarding LinkedIn, guys, I was seeing quite a lot of fake news circulating since the last week or so, where they were saying that President Donald Trump will actually go out and buy 210,000 Bitcoin and put it as a reserve. This is definitely fake news. What he actually did state is something on the lines of strategic national Bitcoin stockpile. So in the speech, what he said, that the US government currently holds 210,000 Bitcoin. He will make sure that they don't go out and sell it. That is the only thing which is completely different to having it as a reserve, isn't it? Now, regarding it having as a reserve, guys, that is something which Robert Kennedy Jr. said, and I'll very briefly touch base on that. Now, regarding Ross Ulbricht, guys, President Donald Trump said that he will actually go out and free him as time served. This is brilliant stuff, and a lot of the Bitcoin OGs, guys, they definitely like President Donald Trump because of that. Now, along with President Donald Trump, there was also Russell Brand, who's if not one of the most prolific speakers. He's a massive advocate of President Donald Trump and Bitcoin as well. And the session he talked about is freedom of speech. I would definitely recommend you to go and listen to his entire speech, because what he actually said is that the Bitcoin National 2024 conference is kind of like the Crypto Olympics. Beautiful analogy considering what happened over the weekend, isn't it? Now, regarding Robert Kennedy Jr., guys, I definitely do think he spoke absolutely brilliant, but definitely not great as President Donald Trump. Now, what I really like Robert Kennedy Jr. saying is that fiat currency gives the politicians to go out and print money, and he made a really strong connection to war, and he actually said that with Bitcoin, it could potentially end war as well. And what he said, guys, is fix the money, and you can go out and fix the world. Now, he also said that ownership of Bitcoin under his administration will be completely tax-free. Now, what I personally like regarding Robert Kennedy Jr., guys, which a lot of people in the audience did not like, was he actually said no to spot Bitcoin ETF, and he heavily criticized BlackRock. And at that moment, guys, if you actually see the crowd, they were just not clapping. They went completely silent. Now, at that point of time, guys, I have to agree with Robert Kennedy Jr., because what he said, if there is a fork in the near future, what happens to the new Bitcoin? Who gets more control over the new fork? So definitely brilliant stuff. But look, guys, a lot of people in the attendance, they were definitely not happy about it, and these might be some of the issues of spot Bitcoin ETF as well, isn't it? Now look, Robert Kennedy Jr. definitely said the right things, but he also said, guys, that he would buy a lot of Bitcoin and put it as a reserve. This is a centralized decision making, isn't it? So look, when you talk about adoption of Bitcoin, guys, you can make an argument that an autocratic leader can go and force adoption of Bitcoin as well. Another thing, he kind of took a jab regarding President Donald Trump, and that is to do with El Salvador. Now look, he tried to mix two completely different topics. Now, President Donald Trump did actually like what El Salvador is doing in the Bitcoin world, but he also criticized El Salvador for sending a lot of illegal immigrants to the United States of America. These are completely two different things, isn't it? But what Robert Kennedy Jr. tried to do is, he tried to mix both of these things, so definitely not right in my opinion. Now, the third person, guys, who actually spoke, which I personally did not like at all, is Michael Saylor. he was talking a lot of nonsense, guys. He was actually talking about the equation of Nikola Tesla, and there is a definition that talks about vibration. So what he's actually talking about is that when you're doing transactions, you're actually putting vibrations into universe. Absolutely stupid and horrendous stuff, isn't it? He also touched based on the stock to flow model. Really garbage information in my opinion. Now look guys, Michael Saylor might be a hero to some, but you need to understand guys, he's relatively new in the Bitcoin space. The only reason why he's the speaker guys is because he's a multi-billionaire and he has the ability to go out and buy Bitcoin. And the only reason why he's promoting Bitcoin guys is because he wants to go out and create the demand for Bitcoin. And in creating the demand for Bitcoin guys, people will go out and buy a lot more Bitcoin, and in doing so, his existing net worth will increase, isn't it? Now, he actually talked about some really nonsensical things, guys. He talked about how artificial intelligence in the next coming decade will want to own more Bitcoin. The way he explained it did not make absolutely any sense. Now, look, guys, Michael Saylor definitely sounded like the guy from BitConnect. I definitely do wish that in the near future, they don't have speakers like Michael Saylor. Rather, you can have some technical OGs in the Bitcoin space. People like Amit Taki, people like Preston Pierce, people like Andreas Antonopoulos. He's if not one of the greatest educators in the Bitcoin space. But look guys, when you talk about these events, they would definitely not bring a lot of mainstream adoption, isn't it? Now listen guys, I'm a massive advocate of MMA and UFC, and Ben Askren guys, he also had a session talking about Bitcoin, and if you actually go to YouTube guys, it is called as Make Bitcoin in America Great Again. Now Ben Askren guys, he also has the podcast where he talks about only the value and benefits of having Bitcoin. And as I mentioned earlier guys, I would really urge you guys to go and listen to all of these videos, maybe listen to it at 2x the speed, and then you can make up your own mind. Now along with that guys, a US Senator, that is Cynthia Lummis, who's one of the biggest advocates of Bitcoin, she actually proposed that the US buy 1 million Bitcoin to replace national debt. Now look, this idea might absolutely sound great, but what happens to countries in underdeveloped countries, let's say like Zimbabwe, let's say like India, are they in a position to go out and buy these Bitcoins? The answer to that is unfortunately no. Now look guys, if you're an American, this is definitely great, but when you talk about Bitcoin, you're talking about the money for the entire world, isn't it? And as much as I dislike saying it, only the first world countries are benefiting by Bitcoin, and the underdeveloped and third world countries are not benefiting. These are the unfortunate facts, isn't it? Now regarding Bitcoin guys, Senator Elizabeth Warren, who's a massive detractor of Bitcoin, she has raised massive concern about the national security threat posed by foreign-owned crypto mining operations in the US, and she highlighted that 1/3 of crypto mining facilities in the US are actually owned by individuals with ties to Chinese governments. And Elizabeth Warren guys has also expressed worries about the potential for these mining operations to spy on sensitive facilities and disrupt the energy grid. So look guys, when you talk about United States of America being the center of Bitcoin mining, these are things you need to factor as well, isn't it? Now from a Bitcoin's point of view guys, you would want the mining operations to be spread all across the world. Even the value of stablecoins guys, you would hate it for United States of America to be the leader so far stablecoins is concerned, because that was the invention of Satoshi Nakamoto, isn't it? He wanted it to be people's money, and by definition, Bitcoin is peer-to-peer electronic cash system, isn't it? But that thing being said, guys, I really liked how President Donald Trump introduced Bitcoin, and according to him, Bitcoin stands for freedom, sovereignty, and independence from government coercion and control. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts regarding the Bitcoin Nashville event? And I'm pretty much sure, guys, we will be having similar events as well, isn't it? Now, guys, let me go ahead and talk about another news, and that is to do with Cantor Fitzgerald. Now, look, guys, Cantor Fitzgerald is an American financial services firm that was founded going back to 1945, and they specialize in institutional equity, fixed income sales and trading, and they're serving the middle markets with investment banking services, prime brokerage, and commercial real estate financing, and they are heavily getting into the Bitcoin game as well. And they are set to launch a Bitcoin financing business that will be aimed at providing leverage to Bitcoin investors. Now, the initiative, guys, will start with $2 billion in initial financing, and they are going to expand it further. And to support this effort, guys, the company also plans to partner with select Bitcoin custodians as well. Now, the official link to this is via Bloomberg, and it is in the show notes below. Now, guys, let's talk about Ledger Wallet, and they have introduced a new Ledger Flex wallet, and that features a 2.8-inch e-ink, and it is essentially a touchscreen and is priced at $249. Now look guys, in 2024, you have to come up with much better things, isn't it? This thing should have been done at least a decade ago. Now regarding this wallet guys, the wallet offers USB-C, Bluetooth 5.2 and NFC connectivity, and this is along with a secure element for generating and storing private keys. This should have happened at least a decade ago in my opinion, but look guys, Ledger has also launched a Ledger Security Key app for passwordless login to various sites and exchanges. Now this new hardware wallet guys is part of Ledger's effort to secure a world that is embracing artificial intelligence, and they will be providing something called as proof of you as well, and the official link to this guys is in the show notes below. Now guys, let's go and touch base on some unfortunate news, and this is a security breach with Casper Network, and Casper Network guys, they have decided to go ahead and halt the operation. Now the big question guys is, who has gone ahead and decided to halt the operation? Looks like it is a centralized decision making, isn't it? And they actually give out more information via Twitter or X, and what they actually mentioned via Twitter or X is that Casper Association and Casper Labs and the validators that is a community are currently actively working to resolve the issue. Now the network guys has been halted and the security breach is contained, and according to the tweet the issue has been identified and the solution is being worked on as well, but it's unclear as to what the issue is. But nonetheless guys, what happened is at block number 3,329,418, error number 14,544, validators halted all transactions including transfers, minting and staking as well, and they effectively froze all the activity. And according to an announcement on the Telegram group guys, a post-mortem report will be released and any subsequent code updates will be made publicly available on Casper's GitHub repository. So definitely unfortunate news, isn't it? Now I'm really curious to check guys as to what the issue is, and if you're someone who actually knows about it, definitely mention them in the comments below. And I'm pretty much sure guys a lot of people will investigate, and hopefully by the time you're listening to the actual episode, we would know what the issue is as well. So these were some macro level news guys from the cryptocurrency and blockchain world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys has to do with UAE AI Campus. That is actually kicking off its 6th edition, and that actually takes place today. That is the 29th of July. And the 6th edition of the UAE Artificial Intelligence Campus is scheduled to take place on the 29th of July 2024. And this is organized by the National Program for Artificial Intelligence and National Program for Coders as well. Now this campus guys runs for 5 weeks, and it is aimed to invest in youth potential by equipping them with future skills, and participants guys will be provided with latest AI solutions and also tools to develop innovative solutions to challenges. And the camp guys supports innovation in advanced technology fields and different vital sector development as well. Now look, what I really like about this camp guys is it targets children's schools and university students as well, and there will be AI and coding experts and various community groups as well. Now they're focusing on 7 main areas guys, that is AI's future, data science and machine learning, AI and education, healthcare, finance, web development and robotics, AI ethics and governance, cybersecurity and virtual and augmented reality. Now look guys, the workshops are conducted in collaboration with government and private entities and leading tech companies, and Omar Sultan Al Ulama, the Ministry of State for Artificial Intelligence, has emphasized the camp aligns with UAE's future vision. Now the camp reflects growing community awareness and adoption of future technologies, and it is part of a brilliant government initiative to enhance a sustainable digital economy and also global competitiveness, isn't it? Now the camp guys fosters cooperation between government entities, private sectors and global tech companies as well. So look guys, if you are someone who is in Dubai, or even if you have your kids, you definitely need to check it out. And the website guys is ai.gov.ae/AI Camp, and this is going to be an interactive workshop that runs until the end of August with government and private entity participation. And the activities enhance participants' competitiveness in AI hackathons and competitions in the Arab region. Now look guys, cybersecurity is a key focus, and it is teaching participants to identify challenges, understand standards and adopt responsible AI as well as an ed, and innovative activities teach robotics in engaging ways, emphasizing practical applications in human interactions. And over 30,000 participants guys have attended the past edition, learning the latest technological techniques. Now guys, let's go ahead and discuss the second news, and this is to do with SADIA, that is Saudi Data for Artificial Intelligence, and KAUST, that is King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. And they launched mini GPT med model, and looks like they want to help doctors diagnose medical radiology via artificial intelligence. Definitely brilliant use cases in it. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this guys, because the model was developed by the Center of Excellence for Data Science and AI at Saudi Data for Artificial Intelligence Authority and King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. Now mini GPT med guys is a large multimodal language model designed for medical applications, and it helps doctors quickly and accurately diagnose medical radiology. Now, many GPT Med guys perform tasks such as generating medical reports and even answering medical visual questions as well, and it can describe, locate, and identify diseases based on medical images. Now, the model guys was trained on X-rays, CT scans, and MRIs, and many GPT Med guys is derived from large-scaling models that are tailored for medical applications, and it demonstrates versatility across different imaging methods like X-rays, CT scans, and MRI as well. And this versatility, guys, enhances its utility in medical diagnosis, and it is developed by a specialist from Saudi Data for Artificial Intelligence and King Abdullah University for Science and Technology. And the mini GPT Medcast exhibits advanced performance in generating medical reports, and it achieves 90% higher efficiency than previous models. And the model guide serves as the generator interface for radiology diagnosis, and it also enhances diagnostic efficiency across various medical imaging applications. And the model improves accuracy in documenting medical descriptions. Now, if you do want to go ahead and access mini GPT Med, guys, go to github.com and you can go ahead and access it yourself as well. So it's great that all the source code is accessible via GitHub, isn't it? So these were the news, guys, on the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And also, guys, please feel free to go and check out my website. That is www.blockchaindxb.com. It is packed with loads of information in the world of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, Metaverse, even central bank digital currency. Now, for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Cheryl who asks, in light of the Bitcoin National 2024 conference, what impact do you think the proposed US Bitcoin purchase could have on the global cryptocurrency market? Now look, when you talk about the US government buying a lot of Bitcoin, it just means one thing, that the prices of Bitcoin will increase, isn't it? And I've always said this, whatever the US does, most of the other countries blindly tend to follow it, and there is often the saying, if the United States of America has cough, the entire world has pneumonia. And regarding the purchase of Bitcoin, I've always said this, right-wing ideologies, right-wing politicians and Republicans, they're definitely massive advocates of Bitcoin. Left-leaning administrations such as the Biden regime or Kamala Harris, they definitely are not advocates of Bitcoin. They definitely want more control over your spending, and they are focusing more on central bank digital currency. Now, regarding your question, I do feel sure that the US government's purchasing Bitcoin will have a significant impact, but at the same time, if you ask it from an ethical point of view, I don't think so it's right as well, isn't it? Because look, Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin so that there's no interference by the government, and by definition, Bitcoin is peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The best thing in my opinion what governments can do is leave Bitcoin completely alone and let the entire growth be completely organic, how it has been for most of the time, isn't it? But look, so far as the US government purchasing Bitcoin, it definitely has to increase legitimacy, isn't it? And such a move by the US government would likely be seen as a major endorsement of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general, thereby enhancing the legitimacy and encouraging wider adoption among other governments as well as institutional investors. Think of businesses that are operating, let's say, in Dubai or India and other countries. Once the US government endorses Bitcoin, they're literally going to go out and run and buy more Bitcoin, isn't it? And that would automatically have the price surge of Bitcoin. Now look, there are so many wild predictions regarding Bitcoin. Now could it be possible if the US government purchases 1 million Bitcoin, that would pump up the price of Bitcoin to new all-time high? Definitely possible, isn't it? And the purchase of 1 million Bitcoin would create substantial demand in the market. This would definitely pump up the price. And this could also lead to increased volatility, Cheryl, as traders and investors will react to the new and adjust the positions. Now look, whether we like it or not, Cheryl, the US government's involvement could lead to new regulations, potentially creating a more structured and secure environment for crypto trading. This eventually might attract more traditional investors who at this point of time have still been cautious regarding regulatory uncertainties. Now look, from an economical point of view, if the purchase is part of the strategy to reduce national debt, It could set a precedent for using digital asset as part of the national economic policy, which, as I mentioned earlier, might influence how other countries manage their own fiscal challenges. And this is something with US Senator Cynthia Lummis is talking about, isn't it? So it's going to be really interesting to see how governments and politicians react to this, but definitely an interesting question. So those were the newscasts on the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., we have Crypto with Coffee podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East, from the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and now artificial intelligence world as well. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions on the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.